Hi, I'm Bill Badke. I'm the librarian of ACTS and also do some teaching in the area of research. And besides that, I provide a lot of help to students who are having struggles with their own research projects, and I do a lot of collection development for ACTS. My favorite course is the only course I teach, which is the Research Strategies course, which is required for all students. And surprisingly, it has been amazingly popular over the years. Students love it, and they don't think they will. They don't want to take a research course, but once they get into it, to discover whole new worlds of information and knowledge that can really help them with their studies and develop their research skills. One student that I met early on in his career was in a cafeteria line. His name was James, and he was from Korea, South Korea. And he came up especially to introduce himself to me and to start talking. His English was not strong, but we were able to make sense of everything. And he told me that he was determined to talk to English speakers so that he would learn English really well. And I watched him through his studies and his intention to learning everything he possibly could, developing as a student, was really quite amazing. When he graduated, he moved into inner city ministry working with disadvantaged children, and worked there for about 15 years. And then I got a phone call from Ministry of Defense saying James, and I won't say his last name, has applied to be a chaplain. Do you think that he's physically fit? Because he was now about 50. And I told him that 6 weeks before he had run the Vancouver Marathon, so I figured he probably was reasonably fit. And he went through basic training just like all the young guys, served as a chaplain for many years and is now retired. And when you see a student like that with that kind of energy and desire to serve the Lord, it's quite amazing. For many, many years now, over 30, I've been writing and publishing in the area of information literacy, which is the developing discipline that looks at how do we teach people how to do research and handle information effectively. And so I've done a lot of writing in that over the last 30 years, books and articles and many things. And most recently, I've been working on the concept of helping faculty to develop their own students as researchers. But one particular aspect of that is something called disciplinary enculturation, which is not nearly as frightening as it seems. Disciplinary enculturation is the idea that when students come into a new course, they come in as tourists in whatever discipline they are learning. Tourists kind of look at the landscape, they see the quaint ideas that are being shared, they maybe learn a little bit of the language, they have all kinds of questions and wonder about things, but they never really belong. They go away thinking that was a nice experience. I don't really understand too much of it, but there it is. And so I've been working on ways in which we can enculturate students so that they start thinking and acting like disciplinarians. So that if you're in a church history class, you start thinking like a church historian thinks. Biblical studies class, you start doing biblical work like a biblical scholar would, or theology for a theologian. And that's easy to do in the professions like chaplaincy or counseling or whatever, because they have to be practitioners. But I like to see it happening in other courses as well. I think students get a richer experience when they start thinking like the thing that they're studying. I'm a culture watcher. I am deeply involved in seeing what's happening in popular culture today. Along with my grandson, I can tell you who most of the hip-hop artists are. And I regularly watch culture, I write fiction, and have published it. And so that's a whole other side of me that's very different from being a librarian. Yeah.